Hi, it's me, Nancy, today. Dina made my hat. She sells them if you want a hat, just saying. Because I usually say, hello, it's Nancy today, like my hat. But you see, Dina made my hat, so it's not the same kind. It's a warm hat. Now you would think that on April the 1st, is this April 1st? Is this April Fool's Day? Oh my gosh, that means I could play a joke on you. I don't know what to say to you anymore, and so I haven't been making videos. I've also been in a little bit of a slump. There was a lot of cloudy weather there, and I seem to be very busy. Busy. And anyway, so I made some little videos, I suppose. So I decided I would come down here. My knee's been pretty bad, so I can't do a lot of walking like I was doing. You know, I fix the knee, fix the hips, and then I use them, and then the knee goes. Anyway, it's interesting because this knee is the one that I use to protect the other one. And now this has gotten really bad. So what do I do now? Do I just keep on protecting the other knee, which now means I have a good knee? Or do I switch and let this one heal and that one go downhill? Actually, I'm not going up and down the stairs anymore, so this may heal it a lot. I realized something yesterday. I have all these tricks, right? When you have pain somewhere, do what you're doing very slowly and see exactly where the pain is. I mean, exactly what motion you're doing when you feel the pain. So for my knee, I find that when I'm walking, it's at the end of that step as the bad leg is going back as far as it can. If I'm having a long stride, that will make my legs straighten. And when your legs straighten, it's called hyperextension. When it straightens all the way, kind of locks the joint. Anyway, which is what happens when you take a long stride. So if I take a shorter stride, that helps. So that's one thing. Another thing is on the stairs. I find that stairs are really hard, but a slope is not. I don't know why, but a slope, you can just put your foot ahead and you're rising. You just put your foot, just lift it, move it forward, and you're hitting the wall, right? So, or the slope. So somehow it's a lot easier on the knees to do an incline. Now, it's not always easier to do an incline. Some ramps are hard to walk because they're at a bigger angle or something. Anyway, that's one thing. If I have to go down the stairs, going down sideways is better than going down frontways. Actually, backing down can be really good too. Now, another thing I found, since that doesn't always work, another thing I found is if I am standing on a step, my bad leg is on the step, my good leg is hovering over the other step down below, okay? Now, if I point my toe so that I am reaching the bottom step more quickly, and my bad knee does not have to bend so far while I reach down, if I point my foot, step on the ball of my foot, then, while tiptoeing, bring my bad leg down, then I can stand flat, and I've gone down the step without bending my knee so much. Isn't that interesting? So, that said, I'm also wondering if crossing my knees is bothering my knee, because of course you're bending it in an angle. But to see what's happening here is I am effectively now protecting it by not using some of those muscles anymore, right? If I'm not going to cross my legs, then the muscles that it takes where I cross my legs, the ones that are pulled ever so much, ever so slightly, those are going to get less work. And the less you stretch a muscle, the less it's able to stretch. So, case in point. When my hips were bad, my hips lost their movement, their rotation. And the reason that they lost their rotation was because the muscles were so seized up all around the leg. All the muscles around the leg were so tight. And that is what was holding my leg from being able to rotate. Now, the reason it was seized up was because it was terribly painful when my leg did move into those positions. So my body, which always wants to heal itself, came to the rescue, tightened those muscles up to immobilize that joint as much as it could. I got Willem's hearing aids in. Can't afford to buy another pair. Anyway. But one of them isn't very loud anymore. What happened there? This one goes da da da, and this one goes da da, or something like that. I can't hear the bottom one. Anyway, maybe it only does 2 now, but that's not normal. So it would probably do 3, but I just can't hear it. Maybe it's got wax in the end, but it looks clean. Maybe I have to take it in. What do everybody else do? My mom had hearing aids, and after she died, her hearing aids and her watch and her rings were all in an envelope. Kind of sad, because how they got there, they got there when can't even say it. When the coroner came to remove the body, they took everything off it, rings and things, because it was going to be cremated. Wasn't that terrible to think about? My mother. That's the part I didn't see. My brother saw that. My brother was totally freaked out. He found her and he was shaking her, waking her. Mom, Mom, wake up. And she didn't wake up. And then afterwards he's thinking, oh no, I'm shaking a corpse. Anyway, poor guy. I've never really been around, when this has happened. Which most people haven't been around when it's happening. We weren't all called to the scene because my mom was failing. She died in the night, unexpectedly. I mean, it's always expected when you have Alzheimer's at some point, and she was having all these seizures. Poor girl. It was really awful. Her mind was going. She knew she was sick. She thought she was in a hospital, and the caregiver, she thought she was a nurse. She'd bring her lunch, and she'd sit right beside her and say, now, take another bite. Because Mom would get totally distracted and think of something else and be lost to it. Now, that's the way I'm always. So what does that say about me? We're not going there. But since I think that at some point my memory will go, right? It may be 20 or 30 years from now, but